Hey everyone, Ray here from websiteprofitcourse.com. And I was just thinking about a bunch of things that I had to learn the hard way. I could be a little bit thick-headed at times, and it brought me to create this list here, which is the 5 things that I wish I knew about freelancing before I started. And my journey began with web design, but I would think most of the items on this list are going to translate over to other freelancing services like graphic design, writing, video creation, or consulting. Because when you go from the corporate career path and you jump into freelancing or running your own business, you're going to hit a lot of the same obstacles that any business owner faces. So I want to advise you on a few things that you should consider before you make the jump to work for yourself. The one thing that everyone's going to think about is, where is my business going to come from? You might think that using a freelancing website is a good place to start, but I really recommend against this. I don't think you should use freelancing websites. And the main reason is that there's a ton of competition. I mean, you're going to be competing for what are mostly small jobs, mostly one-time work, and you're competing with people globally that have a wide range of skills. A lot of people that are posting jobs there, they are price shopping, and they want to get the lowest price possible. On top of that, in order to win, you normally have to have ratings on those types of websites. So if you're not an early adopter of a particular website and you don't get established early, it's usually hard to break through these types of websites. My recommendation is just avoid them at all costs. Now, number 2, this is, for me, this was the hardest thing for me to wrap my head around. It took me probably years to just even understand the concept that my skill level wasn't nearly as important as I thought it was. And I wasted so much time developing my skills, but not putting myself out there. The reason that this is the case is because in business, what wins is attention and trust, not skills necessarily. Obviously, you have to have a certain baseline of skills, but you don't need to be the top 10% or the top 5% to make good money. And the best analogy for this is the starving artist. I mean, there's so many creative people out there in the world that are amazing at making things and coming up with ideas, but where they lack the skills is in selling those things. So in order to get the most amount of attention and the highest level of trust, you want to always opt for the direct method over the indirect method. So in terms of landing a client, an in-person meeting is going to generate probably 10 times the amount of trust as a simple phone call is, and a phone call is probably 10 times the amount of trust as an email. But still, you want to use all those methods, email, phone, and in person, to get as much attention as possible and to follow up with a variety of methods. And throughout this entire process, you want to open up real lines of communication with your potential clients and really understand what their biggest problem is, because people have bad experiences with past providers. And if you can over deliver with one area, so one area just might be communication, it might have nothing to do with your service. But if their biggest problem was communication, as long as you're on time and you respond to emails promptly and you answer their phone calls, they're going to be more than happy with your service. Number 3, which I sort of alluded to at the beginning, is that freelancing isn't just you doing the work that you love to do. It's going to come along with business tasks, and that's going to involve communication, sales, marketing, accounting, and probably 5 other things that I'm forgetting here. But when you're running your own business and you're dealing with clients, and even several clients at once, there's a lot of complexity that takes time to learn how to deal with that and how to manage it. If you're not willing to dedicate a good portion of your time towards this and build that into your budget when you're pricing projects, then freelancing might be a little bit complicated for you compared to just getting a job. But I mean, I think that at some point in your life, you should at least attempt to start a side business. It's so easy nowadays, especially with the online element. I mean, granted, if you're doing something local, you sort of need a physical presence, but if you have an idea for an online business, all you need is a website. So it's so easy to start a business nowadays that I don't see any reason why you should be hesitant to do that because of some overhead of business tasks. And eventually, when you transition over from freelancing to the business owner mindset, you want to actually outsource a lot of the design and the creative work so that you can focus exclusively on generating more business. And this is something that I still have a lot of trouble with. In fact, one of my biggest goals for 2018 is to outsource work because I have perfectionist tendencies. Sometimes I don't like getting rid of tasks and sending them off to somebody else, particularly if I do them in a certain way and I feel like it's going to take me the same amount of time to explain the tasks as it would for me to do it myself. So I need to get better at this. I need to let go of things. But what I can say is that I've definitely focused more of my time on the marketing side of things than I did in my first couple of years freelancing. Now, does this slide surprise anybody? People are unpredictable. This should be obvious, and it is to some degree, but when you come into web design, you start learning a lot about process and the process that it takes to complete a website or complete a project. And even with creative projects, you can still follow a process and get to an expected outcome. But when it comes to people, you can follow the same process and have crazy different responses with various people because people are emotional and emotions can override logic. I have on here that good people can be bad clients and you can have bad people that can be good clients. And I'll give you two examples of what I mean by this. One of my clients he's a great person, but he's a total micromanager. He wants me to send him, hourly reports of the work that I'm doing for him. And he doesn't get the fact that I'm not doing hourly work for him anymore. Like I'm not charging him by the hour. I'm charging him by the month. And I'm charging him more for results than I am for work. But he still has this mindset that I need to do, 5 to 6 hours of work every single month. And if I don't hit that quota, that he shouldn't have to pay me the monthly fee. And this is just a bad recipe for a client relationship. Now, I've worked with him long enough that I can sort of manage his expectations with this, but I know that I don't think that I would want to deal with many other clients like this, especially if I have no prior relationship. And on the flip side, I have a few clients that I personally don't necessarily get along with. I shouldn't say that I don't get along with them. More so that their personality is not my personality. I mean, we have a lot of big differences in how we think, but they're great clients. And why are they great clients? It's because of the opposite approach where they realize that they're trading their money, they're giving their money to me to handle an aspect of their business so they don't have to think about it. And they don't bother me. A lot of times I don't hear from these clients for 2 or 3 months at a time, but they pay me every month on time. And with this comes the last point on this page, which is don't assume anything. If you have a great meeting, don't assume that you're going to get paid at the end of that meeting. If somebody acts a certain way today, don't assume that they're going to act that way tomorrow. So you have to sort of get used to this unpredictable nature of people when you're dealing with several clients at one time. The one thing that's cool about this is that when you actually build a client list, I think that it's way safer than having a job because you don't have that one point of failure. You can lose a client, a bad client, or even a good client, but if you have 5 or 6 of them, you're not losing all your income, and on top of that, you're going to gain a better understanding of the types of clients that you should go after in the future based on the good ones and the bad ones that you have today. Last but not least, I have diversify your skills and upsell your current clients. And when you get into freelancing, you probably are starting with one discrete skill set, but over time, as you deal with clients and as you solve their unique problems, your skills should grow. And if you're interested in, higher level concepts, like for instance, you might get into web design or graphic design, but chances are you're going to use those skills in, say, a marketing campaign. So understanding the higher level concept of marketing and how campaigns are organized and managed, that can lead you to more money and you can make more money with your current clients instead of needing to find new clients constantly. And this is especially why I like working with clients on a long-term basis. I want to build real relationships with my clients. I want to view most of them as I would friends. I truly want to help their businesses out, and I'm truly interested in technological advances and the advances in the internet and how we communicate to use these tools to help their business. And then in turn, as I learn all this stuff to help other people's business, I'm more equipped when I want to start something like this website or this YouTube channel. So I've sort of really taken the approach where I'm learning a lot of these skills. I want to help other people with the skills that I currently know. Through helping those other people, I want to build my skill set. And then through building my skill set, I want to use all those skills back for my own projects and my own, selfish gain. That's why I have in here that you got to invest time and money in education and make sure that you're educating yourself so that you're getting better at business, at marketing, and really at life in general. I think one of the biggest problems that people have is time management, and I'm no exception. I'm still getting used to scheduling out my days and weeks in advance versus just getting up in the morning and working on whatever I feel like that day. But the road to freelancing and working for yourself, it's a long road, but you learn so much along the process that, frankly, I can't even imagine going about it the other way. So just to wrap up, I want you to consider your long-term plan. What's your long-term plan? Where are you at now? Where do you see yourself in a year, 2 years, 3 years? What recurring services are you going to offer? What services are natural offshoots of what you currently offer that you can learn? What type of business are you going to target that is a good match for your services? What are your sales goals? How much are you charging? And how many sales is it going to take to reach your sales goals? How are you going to find clients? How are you going to increase their profit? How are you going to drive them traffic to their website or attention on their marketing offer? Are you going to get into advertising and marketing? I really think that that's something that pretty much everybody that's building websites should eventually get into, because if you aren't getting into the online marketing side of things, you're selling yourself short. And having a map like this and answering these questions, that's what's going to lead you towards success. It's really tough to go out there and just wing it and be successful with running your own business. You might get a couple clients here and there and generate a little bit of extra money, but if you want to take it to the next level where you're getting sustainable income, you have to have a plan. And in the most simplistic form, this is my web design business plan. I offer 3 main package levels. I like to test pricing, but I usually have a package where I can build and manage somebody's website, or if they just need a redesign, I can do that as well. Then the second level is managing their online business reputation, specifically on review sites, to make sure that we're generating quality reviews and responding to any negative reviews that are out there. And then the last level is driving traffic to the website through advertising, whether that's the Google AdWords platform or Facebook advertising, and monitoring the performance of that to see how many conversions we're getting. A conversion could be an email sign up or it could be a sale. And overall, this has been a great way to find local businesses that really know nothing about the online world, that have had a lot of success offline and locally, but they need help, and they weren't getting the personalized help that they wanted from bigger companies. And they might not have the budget to hire a true ad agency. I've found a good niche in this in-between area where I charge a considerable monthly charge, but it's reasonable to them because of the value that I provide. Now, if you're planning to take the plunge into freelancing, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's a proven path that you can take. And it's funny because I've had so many subscribers that have asked me about how I started and my experience at the beginning, how I grew my client base. And the truth of the matter is that I wasted a lot of time. I wasted too much time to even talk about on here. And a big part of that is because I'm an introvert. I didn't seek help. At the beginning, I spent all my time on the computer alone, reading books, testing things myself, but I never looked for people that were in a higher position or above me where I wanted to go and ask them questions or advice. And that was without a doubt one of my biggest mistakes. In fact, I was emailing with a subscriber just last week about how at the beginning I reached out to maybe 5 or 6 different business owners in my area who were operating with web design or digital marketing. I only got one response. The guy that responded, it was probably a paragraph long, but that one response motivated me more than finding all the tech skills that I did on YouTube or elsewhere. Frankly, that is a huge reason that I started my YouTube channel and my website, because I figured that I wanted to be that guy to somebody else where I give you all the information that I've learned. Not that many people do that. You have a lot of people that teach but don't necessarily operate their own business. And conversely, you have a lot of people that operate their own business but they don't invest that much time in mentoring other people. So I really try and put out the information that I wish that I knew at the beginning. And I don't want you to have to guess about the framework that you need to make money freelancing. That's why on my website, I'm making my entire business plan available to you. This business plan framework is the accumulation of many years of putting together all these components that help me out and organize my approach to freelancing. And some of what that includes are the monthly packages that I offer. I mentioned them a few slides ago, the 3 service packages that bring me monthly recurring income. And you'll see exactly how to implement them and the deliverables that you'll need. You can then set your sales goals, determine how many clients you want to get at each package level to reach your sales goals. This is going to be a spreadsheet that you can plug in your numbers and you'll see exactly how much money you're going to make after the first couple of months, and also after year 1, year 2, if you hit your sales goals every single month. There's a 1-hour plus screencast tutorial showing you how you can creatively use Google to find new clients in your local neighborhood. About a week or 2 ago, I uploaded a full-length advertising tutorial on how to use Google AdWords, and this is showing exactly how to set up a live campaign for one of my clients. So you'll see exactly how to set up a real live advertising campaign. One of the things that I'd like to add in the next couple of months is a Facebook advertising tutorial. I have that planned out. Then you'll get to see a PDF, which is going to show you over 100 business industries that you can work with. And one of the things I recommend is you want to specialize in 1 or 2 types of businesses, because if you're building websites for every type of business, every project is going to be a little bit custom and it's going to take you a lot more time. And on top of that, you're not going to learn the marketing strategies of one particular type of business. So I feel like you can go higher level if you specialize with one industry type. So this will give you so many ideas of businesses that you can potentially choose based on what you're interested in. And then I have sales scripts in the business plan, including the ones that I use to reach out to businesses via email. I also have the most common objections that you'll hear from potential clients, and also a sales letter template that you can use either on your website or if you wanted to test out direct mail, because most of my clients are very non-tech savvy. So even though you might think direct mail is dead, I can assure you that there's people out there that have successful businesses that don't use the internet. I'm continuing to add to the business plan member area every few weeks. I just uploaded a couple days ago an expense spreadsheet that will show you all your personal and business expenses, and you can edit that to get a feel for how much income you'll need to offset any expenses that you'll have. A few other ideas that I have are adding in WordPress themes that have a little bit of structure to them already. So I want to take a theme and build a business template out of it that is already set up with some of the WordPress settings and pages. Over the years I've collected a ton of marketing examples, graphics, Photoshop files, and Adobe Illustrator files. So I'd like to include those within the business plan area so you don't have to search out for graphics when you're putting together or designing a website. I'm going to show you exactly how to implement an email autoresponder to generate reviews for potential local clients. And as I'm looking at my whiteboard right now, I have probably 6 other ideas that I'm considering implementing. So I'm going to keep the business plan members area updated with all the new things that I'm staying on top of, while also building in a lot of the materials that I already have on my computer. And I'm also taking suggestions from my subscribers because there's plenty of things that I forget about the first year or two in business that they're reminding me of, and I think to myself, these are great ideas of what I can add to the business plan. So I really want it to be a one-stop shop for people that are looking to increase their freelance business. Here's a quick example of how much money you can make, and this is on the low end. So let's say you get one new client a month. That's 12 clients over the course of the year. Let's say the average cost is $100 per month, which this is kind of on the low end. That means that after 1 year, you're going to have $14,000, almost $15,000 in recurring yearly income from your clients. Like I said, if you can upsell them to an advertising package or to the business reputation package, you can bring your monthly total up to maybe $300 or $500 a month for one client, and you don't necessarily need to get 20 or 30 clients to increase your income to say $30,000 or $40,000. So there's a ton of money out there. I think the biggest thing that you need to wrap your head around is that there's a lot of businesses making money that don't know anything about the online world, or they have hired a bad company in the past and they didn't like the experience. So you need to get involved with your local community and figure out the best companies that you would be interested in working for and that would benefit from your services. So if you're interested in checking out the business plan area, I highly recommend you go to websiteprofitcourse.com/plan. I got all the information about what's included on there, and you'll see some of the other ideas that I have coming soon. I'll also include a link for this in the description below. As I add more things to the business plan member area, I'm likely going to increase the price. I've already done that a couple of times already, so go over there and lock in the best price today. And if you're not necessarily sure that you want to get started freelancing, but you're interested in seeing some of the tools that I use, you can go to my homepage, websiteprofitcourse.com, and there you can download a free giveaway called the 15 Tools to Start Your Web Design Business. Those are the ones that I use all the time. They are the ones that make managing client websites so much easier. You know, just to give you one example that I recommend to absolutely everyone, it's LastPass, which is a password management tool. Because when you're building client websites and then you get into managing their advertising or online reputation, you're going to have so many accounts. I mean, I probably have hundreds of accounts across various websites, and there would be no way to manage those passwords manually. So LastPass saves you so much time when it comes to logging into websites for yourself or for your clients. So if you'd like to see the rest, go to my homepage, websiteprofitcourse.com. You can also check out my blog. I have a lot of articles on there. And obviously, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and see the other tutorials that I have available. And if you have any questions, by all means, leave a comment below. Or if you sign up to my email list, I do my best to respond to every email inquiry that I get. I'm just getting to the point where I'm having a hard time with responding to all of them, but in the last couple of years, I probably responded to 90% of emails that come my way. That's the best way to reach me. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helped you out. Thanks a lot for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.